Hi, Katie here. We're going to go over why you should do a sponsorship of one of our webinars this year. So we've done webinars for a number of years. We've been doing them since 2010, and we've been doing those in conjunction with Lyles Parker. And we would typically each year add in like one or two, maybe like three or four. But last year we tried something new and we added in a new series, and it was called the Low Cost Webinar Series. Here it is. And we sold the webinars for $19. And then we sold the recordings for $29 to cover our learning management system enrollment fee for them to take a 10-question quiz in order to abide by AAPC's guidelines for getting CEUs for webinar recordings. But anyway, so $19 to $29, and we did do well with those, but we didn't see the attendance numbers that we like to see. So we wanted to try something different again this year. And this again is an addition to the series that we do with Lyles Parker. That's the compliance series. But our new series for this year is the 2025 AMBA CEUs, AMBA free CEUs webinar series. That's not right. The 2025 AMBA sponsored free webinar series. And so we've already had two of these events. We decided to do two for January. And Healthcare Compliance Pros was the sponsor of the first one, and RxNT was the sponsor of the second one. Our next event is February 26th, and we are looking for a sponsor for this event. Now, we did already choose the topics and set the calendar because we wanted there to be as many attendees and leads as possible at the event. And I feel like it wouldn't be the same if we let the vendors choose the topic and the speaker. Because part of what was such a big draw for the last two is because we had really good speakers. So just looking at our stats on past events, so clearly there's some that just have a few attendees, right? And those are like inner board meetings, internal to the AMBA. But then this one, so this is that second one we just had with Christine Hall speaking and RxNT as the sponsor. We had 1,043 people attend this webinar. And we had 1,991 people register. That's huge. And so what they got in return for sponsoring was the attendee list. It included names and emails and company names and phone numbers. And they got 3 minutes at the beginning of the webinar after the housekeeping slides to address the attendees. And then you'll also have your logo and your information on all of the collateral materials surrounding that webinar, and you'll be on the webinar page saying that that webinar is sponsored by you. You can actually give us a custom confirmation page. So whenever attendees, let's go to a future webinar here. Okay. And this is our compliance series, so this isn't one within the series. But just acting like we're going to register. If we were to fill this out, and we will go ahead and fill this out, it takes us here. But you can actually give us a link on where you want them to go for the confirmation page, and you could do your own tracking from there or ask for information. You know, you could do a lot of things with that. So a big draw of these webinars is the CEU approval. See, most of the time they have to pay a lot for their CEUs through AAPC. And so us offering them free is a huge draw to the AAPC crowd. And we did have to pay for the approval. We can actually add a custom registration question to the registration page. So it would be a part of these. And that takes about 5 minutes to get that added in there. And then you'll also have your link and some text in the GoToWebinar notification emails. Let's see if I can bring one of those up for y'all. Okay, so this is the thank you for attending from the last webinar we had that RxNT sponsored. So there's their logo at the top and their certificates for the follow-up. And here's the text that they sent us that we added in. And so we could do this with your company as well, add in some text there. We'll look at the first event in the series. So we only had a couple days, like 4 days to advertise this. We had 1,265 people register and we had 816 attend. Personally, I think those are very powerful numbers because these are good leads. And I actually did include some extra fields in the report, from the reports that have been sent out. So the columns show if the person attended, their interest rating, their last name, first name, email address, registration date and time, their join and leave time in the session, their state, phone number, their company name, their job title, their industry, and the number of employees at their work. And so that's going to tell you a lot of information about the people that attended the webinar and the leads from this webinar that you sponsored. And we pretty much covered everything. If you have any questions or you want to learn more about the sponsorship, don't hesitate to reach out. And thanks for tuning in.